And it is a 24-hour store. I can give you my cell number, and if at midnight you decide you need to get in the store, we can open the store for you. So please. At this point, we're ready to start our business meeting. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Sandra. As I said in the video, throughout the sessions today and tomorrow, we will have members speaking to us, and it is themed because of the Alliance. And the first person that we have is Heather. Where's Heather? Is she? Because of the Alliance.
Wow, what a video. There's really not that much left for me to say. It basically said it all. But I was born in New York, and I went to a majority American, I guess, Christian school. And I did my graduate work also in New York. And then I went off to Jamaica. And when I came back in 2007, I transferred over to Oakwood University, which of course is an HBCU school. At that time, I really didn't know too much about HBCUs because we don't talk that much about it, I guess, up in the North as we should. So it was all a learning experience for me. So when my director forwarded to me an email regarding an application for the Leadership Institute program, I thought it looked interesting, and I applied. Now, I applied and I was awarded a place at the Institute. Now, it was because of the Library Alliance that I was part of this remarkable behavior-changing, skill-enhancing, and alliance-forming Leadership Institute. It was wonderful. I enjoyed and I have benefited and am benefiting from the program. I am currently a mentor. Not the best, but I am currently a mentor. And I do enjoy it. I enjoy being part of the Alliance and part of the Institute. Because of that, though, because of being part of the Leadership Institute, my job shifted a little bit. I came over as a cataloger, or at least came and took the job as a cataloger. And because I was interested in getting our collection, or digitizing our collection, I was somewhat shifted. And so now I am the archivist over at Oakwood. I've also been placed on the faculty senate. I became more visible, and I was also asked to be part of the QEP committee. So I've been doing quite a bit of things because of this, because of the skills I got through the Leadership Institute. I am also more confident than I was when I came into the program. I also am not so much of a micromanager. I can now delegate a little bit more. And so it's benefiting me not only here at work, but also at home. So my kids are a lot happier with me because of the Alliance, all because of the Alliance. So those are some of the things that I said. Actually, I said them so fast, I guess I'm now looking to see where I am. Also because of the Alliance, I made a lot of friends. I have had a wonderful mentor when I was in Leadership Institute, and that is in Juanita Roberts. And I got to know Dana Chandler through that, who has been my mentor as far as an archivist. Because of the Alliance, I also was given that photographic preservation grant, and I got to know Phyllis Earls, who was my colleague and instructor, because of the Alliance. I also got to meet all the people from well, not all, especially Jessica Keister from CCAHA. And because of the Alliance, I'm here. Because of the Alliance, and also, like Loretta, I can say, look at all these ribbons I've gotten because of the Alliance. This wouldn't happen anywhere else. So I am who I am, I think, because of the Alliance. And I will always support them. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, Heather. It is indeed because of the Alliance. We're ready to begin our business meeting, and I don't think I'm going to take any time to do any more as far as giving a board chair report. I think that I took the liberty when I did the call to order. So the only thing I do want to say to you all is that I want you to think about sustainability. That is my board report. We need to think about sustainability, and we are building activities and programs around sustainability. Having said that, I would like our fundraising chair, Loretta Parham, to come forward and give her report.
Good morning, yes, to each of you. So I'm just going to be brief. There is a plan, I want to clarify, a document called the 100 Plan, which I believe you did not get in your packets, which is quite all right. It means then that I can just pontificate a little more about that. So every organization, and we will get you an appropriate copy. So every organization needs to have a focus on its sustainability. Our institutions do. We're very conscious of that, and we are very conscious of the impact on operations when some stream of funding is interrupted or not there. The HBCU Library Alliance has really been the recipient of wonderful support in the vein of soft money. This is a volunteer organization. Anything that I've done, you've done, Mary Jo, or any other member has done has been on a voluntary basis. All of the initiatives that we have, the programs, are the result of soft money. And as we know, when you have soft money, no matter how excellent your program, there comes a time when you cannot totally depend upon it. And so some years ago, I think we introduced a dues for the membership, and many of the members pay those dues. We are still looking, just like for this meeting and all activities, to reach the 100% point. The board, in the past year, understood the need to take a serious look at sustainability and how we can move forward. And so one of the first places to start is our funding stream. So a fundraising committee was established, and I was given that lovely task of chairing it. And I met with the board. We had a day-long or 2-day-long meeting and talked about fundraising strategy, and the result of it is the 100 Plan. 100 is very appropriate. You know, 100 years, it sounds like it's very efficient. 100 also in terms of, you know, different HBCUs, 100% is really the visual for the 100 Plan, to put that in your mind. So what is this plan? This plan is about providing fundraising that will help us to support training and scholarship in an ongoing manner. It's about support of succession planning and organizational capacity. And it is about using training and scholarship funds to bridge what is now an uneven institutional budgeted resources. It is about building capacity within the membership, and it is about addressing the existing and future leadership needs of our organization. In a nutshell, I will remind you that Sandra Phoenix is our executive director, and she's an excellent, we've had all kinds of accolades for everyone. You know Sandra does a wonderful job, do we not agree? She is supported by Melinda Thomas, who does a wonderful job as well. They exist on soft funds. So if those soft funds go away, we lose a serious part of our infrastructure and the base. No matter how much we want to say it, we cannot depend on you and I, because you and I are still doing our day jobs. We cannot depend on us totally to kind of lift and move the organization forward. Our fundraising strategy, the 100 Plan has 3 strategies. The first strategy is institutional giving, and it is about having 100% of our members paying dues so that we can increase the base for funding of our operations. This is over a 3-year period, and we've set a goal. We've set a goal of $129,000 over a 3-year period, saying that assuming that we would be able to accumulate $40,000 in the first year in dues, $43,000 in the second year of dues, and $46,000. Now, I think we can do better than that, but we wanted to try and set a realistic goal. There are targets for that, but we have champions who are going to work on helping that strategy to be realized. Those champions include Jean Green from Hines Community College, Richard Bradbury from Morgan State, and May Rodney from Winston-Salem. Again, this is over a 3-year period. Our second strategy has to do with the idea of contributing to the fundraising for succession planning and sustainability goals. This has a projected 3-year goal of $30,000. Year 1, 2, and 3, the idea is that 100 donors would contribute $100. And when we came up with that, we didn't know about Emma and this wonderful decade of investment. And Sandra said, oh, well, Emma Perry has this idea that, you know, for the decade of investment, everyone will give 100. We said, wonderful, it feeds right into year 1. I want to say that we have 62 contributors. Excuse me, that means we need how many more? 38 more contributors to achieve our year 1 goal of $100 from 100 donors. Now, it could be $200 from 100 donors, or $300 from 30 more donors. But the idea is we want to achieve that goal. This is a goal, again, over 3 years. So I'm asking and hoping that you will give some serious consideration to donating. I cannot think of a better charity. I mean, certainly church, but beyond that, I cannot think of a better group to contribute to. Save $1 every other day, and you'll have $100 easily at the end of that year. The champions for this strategy include Mary Jo Fayoyan from Savannah State, Laverne McLaughlin from Albany State, and Emma Perry from Southern University A&M. The third strategy in our plan is to obtain support for new programs and initiatives from an expanded number of foundations and grant makers, and to receive invitation by new foundations to apply for funding. As those of you who were here yesterday, we had a wonderful pre-conference. If you didn't come, you really missed something. And I want to say that these pre-conferences, again, are the result of soft dollars. We need to take advantage of this. When the soft dollars go away, we will need to start paying for participation in these services. So it's really important, however, that we continue to expand our audience of foundations that are interested in contributing to our work. But that takes work, and it takes time. The champions for this initiative include Cynthia Henderson from Howard University Medical Library, Jerome Offord from Lincoln University, and myself, Loretta Parham. The goal for this particular strategy is $100,000 annually. So we will count the current year of grant activity. We have the $100,000 there. But our current grant, which we are able to exist on, will end in June of next year. So I want to emphasize that technically, as of June 30, 2013, we have no funding. I want that to soak in. I cannot overstate the importance of everyone supporting. And how do we support? We can certainly support by stepping up and be one of those 100 donors and planning to do it repeatedly each year. We can do it also by making ourselves available to the champions to do whatever it is they need you to do, and to do it in a timely way, and to do it consistently. And we need it by you also, library directors and deans, when you get back to your shop, looking at your budgets and very seriously advocating, arguing, standing up for support of this organization. Because this organization, exactly in a very clear way, supports the work of each and every one of our institutions. We would not be, I'll speak for self. We would not be doing as well as we are doing at AU Center in our preservation strategies were it not for what we have learned and gained through our participation in the HBCU Library Alliance programs. But it takes everyone. It takes all of our institutions. And so I'm asking for your support. I'm asking that you'll pay attention, because when you hear from us, we're gonna start calling you and sending messages and asking you to talk to your president. We're gonna send you material and ask you to share this with your provost. Go and ask your president to donate $100. Dr. Silver? Anyway, I know he did. I'm just messing with him since he's here. Anyway, but reach that. And as Sandra did, ask your family. I hadn't thought about that. I'm gonna go back and tell my husband he needs to donate, etc. But definitely we need your contribution. I just want to draw your attention to the importance of your support of our organization. We are strong, and we appreciate the support of the various individuals and foundations we have this far, and we have to continue to gain that, to get that. But to do that, we need to have capacity. Absolutely require capacity. It will allow us to do more for everyone, large, small, medium institutions, no matter what. I will pause and ask if there are any questions or comments. Emma.
I don't have a question, but I certainly concur with what you have said. You have given a dynamic presentation, and also in terms of what you need to do. And so I just want to say very practically, because I care about this organization too, that everyone in this room today make a commitment when they go back to the institution, to our staff members or librarians that are there, to also make a contribution to this organization, because it is important that we keep the work going. And I will certainly, doing my contributions every year, and I hope that the rest of you, because I know everybody in this room today can pay $100 if you have not paid that $100. Hear me, you can pay that $100. Write the check today before you leave if you have not paid your $100. Hear me, we need it. And I hope that when you go back to your institution, that you will encourage your staff to do the same. All I said to a couple of mine is that your name needs to be on the list. So when I got the program, their names were on the list. So that's what I want you all to do. But we have a plan, and I think if we follow that plan, we will be able to sustain ourselves over the years. So please, please go back and try to help us.
Thank you, Emma. Any other questions or comments? Sandra?
I did hear from one director who mailed in, an associate director, who mailed in a check and said, if the Alliance will continue this annually, include my name. So we're starting there.
So in closing, I'll remind you that there are 3 strategies, and that means that there are essentially 3 ways that each of us can participate. One is the way that Emma has just made point on, and that has to do with the 100%, contributing to the fundraising of succession planning with the $100 for 100 donors annually as a minimum. The second strategy is to pay our dues on time. You know they're coming, get that invoice ready. You know the peculiarities of your purchasing and finance office. Work that magic and make it happen and pay those dues. And then finally, engage with us in the effort to expand our soft money base. In other words, to engage with more foundations. If you're a great grant writer, I sure would love to hear from you. Because, you know me, I got an idea a minute. We just need some more hands-on. I thank you very much.
really feeling good today. So let me also say welcome. Welcome to the fifth membership meeting of the HBCU Library Alliance. The fifth membership meeting of the HBCU Library Alliance. It was 10 years ago, a decade, that 100 deans and directors of White House designated HBCUs came together and gave birth to this great organization. And here we are now, assembled in New Orleans to talk about sustainability and to strategize our future directions. Then we're going to talk about sustainability and strategize our directions even more. And then we're going to own that strategy and we're going to act on that strategy. I am so proud of this work and proud to stand before you in admiration and with deep respect for the work that you do to support HBCU institutions, libraries, and the communities they serve. Now, many hands have come together to present protecting our legacy, preserving our story, a decade of investment in HBCU libraries. This is our forum to come together to celebrate, but plot the future course of our organization. We had an outstanding pre-conference yesterday. Really, if you were not there, you really missed out. It was just awesome. And I want to say thanks to our pre-conference speakers for that session that included advocacy and fundraising in support of the preservation of those significant photographic collections. And a special thanks to the colleague instructors who are sharing their skills and strengthening this community. Now, my colleague, Kate Nevins, is here with us, and I must always thank Kate and Lyrasis for providing us the infrastructure to support our work. At Lyrasis, we have access to highly trained staff that assist us with the daily operations of the Alliance. And then the choir welcomed us most graciously. Their music was full of inspiration and rhythm, and Charles Brown and Dr. Dawkins and Dr. Lorenz and Dr. Francis and our percussionists, and much appreciation in advance to our keynote speaker, Ron Blakely, Associate Director of the White House Initiative on HBCUs, and to those other speakers and session leaders. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't thank those who paved the way for us, the ancestors who sacrificed so that we could protect, preserve, and share the great treasures of African history and culture. So I thank Malcolm X, who said that education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. And I thank Barbara Jordan, who said that we have an obligation and a responsibility to be investing in our schools and our students. And I thank Mary McLeod Bethune, who said the whole world opened to me when I learned to read, and the many other ancestors whose words and message energize my spirit and inspire my soul. Now, the percussion announces the celebration, rocking our emotions, enabling us to work and focus collectively. There is wisdom in this room, creativity, endurance, strength, passion amongst us. So let's draw on that as we celebrate this decade of investment and plan the next. And if the numbers aren't exactly what you thought they would be, remember what Fannie Lou Hamer said. There is one thing you got to learn about the movement: 3 people are better than no people. So let's do it. There has been much progress since the 2002 inaugural meeting of what was then the HBCU Library Initiative. Our mission, the Alliance, is a consortium that promotes the collaboration of information professionals and excellence in library leadership and services to enhance member programs and services, continues to drive this significant work in support of this community. In just 10 years, and thanks to the most generous support of the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation, we have strengthened our community, protected this legacy, and preserved our story in these ways: training to develop and support effective library leadership, The HBCU Library Alliance Leadership Program with the goal to strengthen libraries through better integration of their services into teaching and learning. 4 rounds of intense training since 2005, 53 institutions that have participated, and $2.4 million awarded to our partner, Lyrasis. Training to improve the preservation of significant photographic collections through the Preservation of Photographic Collections Project. Multiple training programs, conservation assessments, and funding for demonstration projects and environmental monitoring. 2 rounds of training, total grants of $2.6 million awarded to Lyrasis. Training to implement and manage a digital collaborative project, the HBCU Cornell project, chaired by Dr. Janice Franklin, with a goal to prepare librarians with the skills and knowledge to construct and manage a digital collection. 23 participating institutions, 3 rounds of training, and total grants of $1.2 million awarded to our partner, Cornell University. Documenting and disseminating the history and accomplishments of the HBCU Library Alliance. Through the Preserving the Story of the Alliance project, our progress can be shared with the library and academic community. This is a $71,000 officer's grant, our first direct grant award. 9 member success stories have been published, and the historical draft of the Alliance is in draft format. What we have accomplished in just 10 years. Now I'm planning the next decade of service. I have this vision. My vision of the HBC Library Alliance is that of a sustainable organization. My vision of the HBC Library Alliance is that through our due structure, grant opportunities, collaborations, programs and services that we offer and provide to and outside of our community, we are able to thrive. I see an engaged membership with future library leaders such as Ivy Brannon from Savannah State, and Jamal Fisher from Alabama State, and Lauren McMillan from Savannah State, and Dawn Kite from Southern New Orleans. Thank you, Baton Rouge. I see the Alliance strategically involved in library activities and called upon to offer counsel as needed and to serve on local committees, national, even global. So we have much to think about as we move forward. This is my vision for the Alliance. This is what I believe we can accomplish together. So there is still much yet to be done to support our libraries and librarians, and I am honored to be a part of this. Please be encouraged by what you have heard this far, what you have participated in, and what you will hear today. As we talk about the future direction of the Alliance, be prepared to own the strategy and then act on the strategy. And I look forward with great excitement and anticipation to sharing with you the exciting opportunities ahead for the Alliance as we engage and work toward the next decade of services. Thank you. Do you have questions? Thank you very much.
While we're waiting for Melinda and to get our other screen up, I just wanted to use a word that our executive director of the Alliance used yesterday, and that word is divine. I feel like we have a divine executive director of the HBCU Library Alliance. I'm almost sorry that I have to follow her inspiring comments with a thread of comments about something that's going to go through this entire meeting, and that is money. You will hear about it constantly, you deal with it every day, and here at the HBCU Library Alliance, we're going to make it our own. Okay, we're ready. So it's my pleasure to bring to you our financial status for this 2012 membership meeting. Our 2012 revenue includes the balance of the $71,000 preserving the story of the HBCU Library Alliance grant. Our dues collected totaled $40,750. The increase is the result of the new tiered structure for our dues. The digital preservation category reflects the locks, lots of copies keep stuff safe, and meta-archive expenses for the digital collection. The grant revenue is from the Preserving the Story of the HBCU Library Alliance grant. Our three special projects we've already heard about, they all have positive balances. However, be sure that we are on track to spend every single penny in accordance with our project goals. Okay. Okay. We have steadily grown in the number of members paying dues. And as 2012 is not yet over, we look forward to our 88% to increase in the next 2 months. So what do we need from you? As was mentioned before, we need you to pay your dues promptly. We need to all continue to be visible. We want to work together to specify fundraising opportunities, and we want to make sure that the HBCU Library Alliance is known to funders. This can only be done with the help of everybody here and everybody back on your campuses. Thank you. Are there any questions? Thank you.
While Jean is getting ready, has the dean, director, or representative from each institution, did you receive a ballot? Did you all receive ballots? If not, raise your hand and we'll make sure you have ballots. This is an institutional vote, so it is one vote per institution.
Thank you, Mary Jo. That it ends my presentation. It's my task to talk to you about the bylaws revision that the board worked on, started working on in January of this year. We looked at the bylaws that the organization already had in place, and with input from several different members of the board, we compiled that information. The bylaws committee consisted of Laverne McLaughlin and myself, and through the Herculean efforts of Laverne's administrative assistant, Kim, we were able to pull all the different comments together and present it in a coherent manner. And I really need to thank Kim, because she really put all that stuff in order. And then we got this out to the deans and directors in a message, an email message. It was at the end of September, 1st of October. You should have had that so you could look over it and be able to make the make your vote on the ballot today. Does everyone have a copy of the ballot? We did not get any comments back from anyone in the mail about the bylaws, any changes to that, so we're going to go ahead with the vote today. Yes, I'm sorry. Well, actually, I have some of that information, and if there's any questions about it, depending on which section of the bylaws that anyone might have a question about, I can refer to the person who then made that or suggested that change, and they can clarify that for the group. Okay. There were several. In your emails should have been a document that showed how the changes were laid out and by whose suggestion. I can go through several of those for you. We removed Article 3, which talked about the mission, and changed that to be included in Article 2. The Article 2 then reads, after the change, purpose and vision established October 29th, 2002 in Atlanta, Georgia. Yes.
Maybe what we should do is get a copy of the document. There's a copy of the document for everyone, so that it's just presented then.
Okay. No, I do not. When I discussed with my colleagues about this, we thought that since they had copies of that.
Yeah.
So,
if there is a problem, I'm going to create the problem, because we sent it out, and I thought everyone had, looked at it, and that we could just then move with questions if there were any, and vote. But that doesn't seem to be the case, and so we'll get a copy for you. And then, so let's just delay the vote. Keep your ballot. Let's delay the vote, and we'll get your copies. Yeah, and we'll do it. We'll vote on this tomorrow. Okay.
okay.
And I do apologize.
So we're going to get that to
Yeah,
you tomorrow.
we'll get it tomorrow. We'll ask you to come again.
I get to come back. Okay, thank y'all.
And we received these in the mail ahead of time for that purpose. And I think, well, my recommendation is to stay on task with what we need to do. And just simply how you mentioned what the changes were and go from that point. I think we're, I just don't want to see us lose a vote because others may have to leave at the same time. Yeah, just as a follow-up to her comment, I think that's a great suggestion, but I don't know that we want to hear that, remove this word from that paragraph to that paragraph, but if that were there, I don't recall, and I'll apologize, But if there were substantive changes, then the body needs to know that before we vote.
Okay, this is my thought. We have ballots. Everyone will put their institution's name on the ballot. We already have some ballots that have been turned in. We can collect the ballots of those that are prepared to vote today. So if you are prepared to vote today, please raise your hand and we'll collect your ballot. If you're not prepared, we will have a copy tomorrow and take a few minutes to entertain any questions, and you can vote tomorrow. We're going to have, like our country is having now, extended voting. So if you are prepared to vote today, please raise your hand, and I'm going to ask that you all collect those ballots. Of anyone who is prepared to vote. Yes, ma'am.
For whatever reason, I did not have anything about the initiative about the decade.
Okay.
Fundraising. I assume all of that was going on in my transition.
It probably was.
To Alabama. I'm not privy to the bylaw changes.
Okay.
May I read that on the HBCU website?
We'll have a copy for you. And we'll try to have it by the end of the day, if not first thing in the morning. And I do apologize, I do remember that. And you know, I really do try to remember what our members are doing, and we should have gotten that information, because I did know you were transitioning and you left us. She was in Georgia, she left us. Yeah.
Because I was wondering, we can't hear everything on this side. If you could please repeat some of the questions.
Okay. The questions were, there were people who didn't feel comfortable voting today, that they had not had a chance to look at the bylaws. So what we're going to do is extend the voting, just like we're doing. If we can do it for the President of the United States, we can do it for this organization. So people who are prepared to do early voting today, then tomorrow will be the actual voting day. So we will get copies of those bylaws. We'll take a few minutes to entertain any questions, and then we'll vote. And here are mine. And there's one back there as well. Okay, thank you for your attention to that very important matter. And now we're moving on we're talking about sustainability, we're talking about planning. And we have Dr. Flavia with us, Eldermeyer from Allen University. She is the chair of the Division of Business at Allen University. And she has been working with our leadership institute, and she is going to discuss planning with us.
Well, we had a wonderful event starting earlier this year. We had 25 participants this year in the Leadership Institute 4. I'm going to just give you a little recap of what we've completed thus far. The Leadership Institute began in February. This year was February 16th and through the 19th, and was held in Atlanta. And at that point, those selected participants were given their call to action. We had 4 days of training, they learned new skills, and they had some immediate takeaways. Throughout the course of the program, they also had a series of webinars. The webinars included performance management, change management, financial leadership, high-impact leadership dealing with change, strategic planning, emotional intelligence, as well as leadership at its best. The participants also had coaching throughout their months of developing their projects. They had mentoring, and they completed their project deliverables. We'll meet again next month in Atlanta to actually look at their project deliverables, and we'd like to thank all of the directors who helped to create that space so that these emerging leaders could complete their work. And I know, without a doubt, that these 25 participants definitely will carry the torch of leadership. They understand the value of the HBCU libraries, and they are prepared to lead. I encourage you to talk with the members, a few of them who are here today, who are emerging leaders. They've been helping out in the back. And also those who are at your institutions, that you ask them critical questions, that you provide opportunities for them to apply the techniques and tools that they've learned and gathered over the past 8 months or so. They've learned a lot. They have a lot to give. And they do indeed understand the value of leadership. But they cannot do it alone. It has to be a collaborative initiative. And we also have to understand that there are various generational differences that are impacting every library across the country, not only in libraries, but generational differences that are impacting the world of work. And it may not be comfortable sometimes to share that space or to push them beyond, but good leadership, effective leadership, will initiate that activity and encourage them to move forward even further than those roads that you have gone yourselves. And so I just want to thank you for the opportunity, thank you for the opportunity to have worked with such a prestigious group of leaders. And everyone I speak to, they're so encouraged and they're really looking forward to a long, sustainable career. And so I just want to say thank you. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer your questions. Anyone have questions? Well, thank you.
When I stood up here earlier, I told you that a very important part of this meeting is about sustainability. And then Sandra certainly echoed that, as did Loretta, that we really need to start thinking about sustainability, because the funding for the from the Mellon Foundation, and particularly for the Leadership Institute, will possibly end. To that end, when we wrote the last leadership proposal to the Mellon Foundation, they asked us, they suggested very strongly that we needed to have a component dealing with sustainability. So to this end, we've asked an expert to come and help us with this, and that is Dr. Joseph Pete Silver. And many of you all know him. He has been a friend of libraries and of the Alliance for many years. And the reason why we asked him to do it is his experience. He formed, is it with ACE, that the leadership? Okay, and that organization, that leadership institution, has gone on for a number of years. And so we wanted someone who had had experience and success in sustaining a leadership institute. So Dr. Silver is coming to us not in his role as the president of Alabama State, but in his role as our consultant with Silver and Associates, and he deals with sustainability, so he'll come to us now.
While she's pulling it up, let me say that I am again pleased to be here with you. I think this is my third time around. I'm being told that I've been passed around. I started out with Mary Jo, hired her at Savannah State University, then went to Atlanta University and started working with Loretta, and now I'm working with Janice, and so I'm just trying to find a home. The last time I was with you, when I came back home, I told my wife what a wonderful time I had, and she said, well, why are you pimping? You know. I said, what do you mean? She said, you got a little pimp in your walk. I said, no, I'm limping. I said, those ladies danced me to death. at that evening soiree, if you all recall that. I was one of the few guys there, and so I had to make it work. Let me say that I see I don't have enough time, so I'm going to have to shorten my presentation. But at the same time, I have passed out a little short survey that I want each of you to fill out. I'm constantly trying to get additional data to validate some of the things that we were finding. Actually, we had basically about a 3-point program that we're looking at. First, to look at the history and nature of the alliance, and look at the strengths, those things that folks said were going well, things that probably need to be improved upon, and then try to figure out how we can keep those things going that you have indicated were strengths. We also, of course, the big piece is recommending the sustainability of this program. As Ms. Fayoyan said earlier, I started a similar project back in 2000 for the American Association of Blacks in Higher Education. And as such, that is still going on. I actually directed it until I moved to Saks and didn't have time. My great, sweet, wonderful, competent boss, Bill Willen, kept me on the road all the time, so I had to give it up. And one of the young ladies who was really a protege in that meeting has kept it going. She came in the second class, and as a result, we got her to really agree to be the director. She's been there now for 4 years and doing a great job. She was at Jackson State, then got promoted up to, I think it was Northern Illinois, and now she's vice president for administration at Marriott Medical, Dr. Barbara Johnson. And so we have some experience there. The other thing that we are really trying to determine is whether or not the membership